here, let me just say this. I mentioned earlier, I feel like somebody is trying to give you love, right? And you've been hurt in the past, and I feel like you're not ready to re-engage and you're not ready to date, okay? And you have trouble trusting new relationship partner. And so that's what I'm feeling for a lot of you. So let me just say this. We have here in the present situation, we have here the Five of Wands, and this is a card about conflict, okay? Having like some perpetual conflict, not seeing eye to eye, having a lot of just discord in the relationship. And we have here an earth sign. So this is a Taurus, a Virgo, or a Capricorn that you're dealing with. When they are operating at their best, they're very structured, they're very reliable, they're very, very dependable. When they are operating at their worst, which might be the case here, they're incredibly unreliable. And financially, they might be a little bit of a mess. And I feel like there is a financial entanglement situation here where you might be dependent on this person financially. And I feel like they're not pulling their weight in the relationship, okay? So I have as well the Seven of Swords. And the Seven of Swords is a situation where somebody is not being honest. They're hiding the truth. They're lying by omission. And this is a situation where I feel like you are very frustrated by this person. If you're in a relationship with them, it seems to me like this is a recurring pattern. Something like this has happened in the previous time. And I feel like because things were not nipped in the bud, because things were not addressed, issues are creeping up again. The same issues are creeping up all over again. It's really important for you to try to communicate in a way where you are collected, calm, and rational, because this person responds really, really well to clear, cogent, coherent arguments. If you behave in a way where it's like this, and you can't really express yourself because you're so frustrated and angry, they're going to just slink out the door pretending they understand, and then the same thing repeats, okay? So the way in which we communicate here, we have to understand that, you know, it's like different species. You both are so different from each other that you're not arguing over the same things. And this is a tree and a person, right? So, you know, two different species. And it's really important as well to I feel like, you know, don't fly off the handle, because immediately the other person is going to be on the defense and there's major communication breakdown. So behave in a way that is very rational, very calm, okay? And I'm seeing this is a situation where it might be about finances. And as well, some of you dealing with this person, I feel like a little bit of a breach of trust. It's like, I feel like it's communication related. So you might tell them something and you're like, okay, don't tell anybody else. And then they go ahead and tell their best friend, or they tell their brothers, their sisters, whoever it is. So I feel like it's a breach of trust. It's not something so severe, but I feel like they've done this before. You tell them one thing and they do another, okay? And I also feel like, I don't see infidelity and things like that, but I feel like this is something where somebody is behaving in a way where they prove themselves over and over and over again that they can't take care of themselves. They can't be trusted to their own devices, okay? They can't be left to their own devices. So that's what's coming through. And I feel like you are right in being upset. It's just the way that you communicate so that this doesn't happen again. It needs to be flushed out so the other person understands, okay? In the past situation, we have here the Ace of Swords as well as the King of Wands. So here's what I'm sensing. Okay, so let me just say this. And it's the energy is like either coming from your end or from their end, but I feel like it's coming from your end, Sagittarius. So here's what I'm sensing, and this is it's not going to apply to all, so please don't get offended. Okay, so, you know, a lot of the times, right, we stay in unhealthy relationships, And I always wonder why people do it. And then as the longer I do tarot, the more I start to understand human nature in general. When we have control issues, okay, and I feel like some of you, you might have control issues, or you might be dealing with somebody with control issues. And when you are in a relationship where there is control issues, we have here the King of Wands, which is somebody who's very caring, very protective, generally very caring, very protective. And I feel like this might be your energy, okay, in the past. And you're dealing with somebody who is, with the Ace of Swords, somebody who's lacking in, the technical skills or the practical life experience. So their life seems like it's one chaos after another. And I feel like you stay in that relationship because they're so disoriented that it gave you a lot of control. Does that make sense? So one person felt like they had a lot of control in that relationship because the other person was just not reliable. And you might have stayed in that relationship mainly because there was a very strong purpose for you. You found your purpose in that relationship. And then the other person, because you were the pillar of strength, the other person felt like, okay, they don't need to do anything. They can act irresponsibly, and you would do the damage control. So I feel like there was a very unhealthy relationship here, or at least you might still be in it. And the other person might be an air sign, an Aquarius, a Gemini, or a Libra, or you might still be with them and they're an earth sign, a Taurus, Virgo, or Capricorn. It seems like there was a situation that was out of control, but because one person was always in control, the other person was out of control. Everyone had a clearly defined role, and you didn't mind staying in it. And let me just reassure you, relationships need to be a two-way street, equal give and take. Otherwise, it's a codependent, toxic relationship. And I feel like it was fun and games while it started. And you might have a hard time tearing yourself away from it because you felt needed in that relationship. Okay? So please don't get offended. That's a small minority of you. But I feel like you are becoming aware of this cycle. You are becoming aware. And if not, you're going to come into full awareness for this month. And I hope that you make the right decision to, cut ties, because it's not entirely healthy. It's an emotional roller coaster. And one person had to bear the brunt of the relationship because the other person behaved very irresponsibly. Okay? Crowning this reading is something that you are thinking about. We have here the Eight of Swords, freeing yourself from a mental or even physical prison. Whatever you have kept yourself in hostage, in limbo about, you have freed yourself, or at least you are thinking about how you're going to be able to extract yourself, how you're going to be able to shake this person who is very accusatory, who might be very harsh with their words. And you're hoping to be able to work up the courage and the strength in order to get yourself out because you know it's not good for you, okay? I feel like for some of you, I'm feeling as if you have gotten yourself out of it. You're rebuilding yourself. You're rebuilding your financial empire. You're rebuilding your self-esteem. You're rebuilding, I'm feeling like a major drastic makeover, okay? A new lease on life, getting yourself in shape, getting yourself like either seeing a therapist to try to work through and process the events. And I also feel as well, you're regaining your confidence. So it's getting there. It's not complete yet, but I feel like you have done the work necessary from your end to free yourself from this very toxic person. And I do sense that there might still be financial entanglements between you and them. There might be children as well. So it's still a little bit tenuous and it's still a little bit like messy. In the foundation here, You honestly are looking for peace of mind. And I feel like there's a lot of responsibilities on your plate, and getting adequate rest is going to be something that's very necessary, okay? You want to, I feel like some of you don't want to be bothered with relationship. You feel to me to be a little bit jaded, and so you want to be left alone. On top of that, you have a lot of, child rearing responsibilities that you need to take care of as well. And the financial situation is just on its way to get better, but it's not as to the best of it's not functioning to the best of your capabilities just yet, and you're finding ways to get yourself out of financial debt, or even financial, that sense of lack, either in self-esteem or in capabilities. So I feel like a rebuilding process is happening for a lot of you. So this is a really caring person. They have they have a very generous spirit. They have a lot of love to give. And I feel like this about you. You know that you are a really generous person. But the relationship has kind of left you questioning your sense of self-worth, and also left you questioning your capabilities. So I feel like some of you were in a relationship that is toxic, codependent. And now that it's out of the picture, you're trying to find your reason to be, okay? And then others, you were with somebody who was very critical, very, very harsh with you. And over time, I feel like you internalize everything that they've said, and you might not feel that you are worthy. So I have some really heavy stuff here, Sagittarius, and I feel like you are trying to break away from this. You're overcoming this. Moving in the future position, we have here breakthrough, renewal in ourselves, being on the right track, feeling as if even though we are alone, we're still very happy. And so that's for those of you who have gone out of relationships. I do see this is a card that indicates breakthrough in therapy, okay? So that sense of renewal, that feeling as if you can rebuild yourself, things are getting better, feeling that light at the end of the tunnel. It's linked up here with the Empress, and it's also linked up here with the Nine of Coins. So I don't see so much even for singles. Let me just say this. For singles people, I feel like you have somebody in your environment that really, you have a very pessimistic person that you grew up with. Through childhood conditioning, through your interaction with this person for a long period of time, you really doubted relationships. I feel like this person might have told you, like things where they might say like all men cheat, all women cheat, for example. And you grow up, you internalize that. So it could even be like somebody who was taking care of you. It could even be another relationship partner. And it really affected your self-esteem. And so I feel like you might have spent your time amassing a huge financial empire and not have time to date, okay? And I feel like this is the month in which you might realize that life feels a little bit empty because you're not able to make emotional connections. You're not able to get out there and put yourself out there in order to love and receive love. And you're going to be in the process of changing this for yourself. So that's for singles. I feel like you're heavily affected by somebody's pessimism. And as a result, you might grow up thinking that love is a lot of work, a lot of responsibilities, and it's not worth it. And so you spend your time devoted to, friendships and work and things like that. And you feel a little bit empty inside. It's a good month for you to get yourself back out there. Okay, it's a really good month. And I'm sensing that you might be able to date outside of your type, and you might just, find the one. And trust me, I rarely say this in a Mercury retrograde cycle, but we have the star here. This is wish fulfillment. Having a really strong mental, emotional, spiritual connection with another person, and especially even dating somebody who might be in the teaching profession, in the healing profession as well, okay? Somebody who's a teacher, somebody who's a therapist, somebody who's a doctor, somebody who might just be a life coach, for example, or somebody that cares about the bigger picture, and they show you how to live in a spiritually, energetically connected way, okay? So they're going to be able to activate your heart chakra, to allow you to overcome these challenges in the past, okay? With the Empress in the reverse, this is like dating outside of our usual type, okay? This is also like feeling a little bit shy, feeling either out of shape, feeling a little bit self-conscious about our bodies when we reconnect and when we become intimate with a new person. So I feel like some of you are still grappling with this, but I'm sensing there's positive energies here for singles. And then for coupled people, there's a lot of work that needs to happen in your relationship, and I feel like finances is really affecting the relationship. You might be financially linked up with another person that you're no longer in love with, and you can't leave because of financial reasons. So I would just want to emphasize once again, we all have reasons to stay and we all have reasons to leave, okay? And so I'm not going to dwell on it, but I feel like this relationship might be hurting you, especially if you're dealing with an earth sign. Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn, Sun, Moon, or Rising. I don't feel this is a situation that can be fixed because I feel like you both are nitpicking at each other, and that's not a good relationship to be in. And then I see, like, for others of you, trying to, rebuild your self-esteem, trying to have some breakthrough, trying to rebuild yourself, and you're a really optimistic sign and you always bounce back. And I feel like the relationship sector for the past few months, I see, changes and things like that. And I feel like new people are trying to come through for you, but you're a little bit scarred from the past and you're not able to invest yourself fully. So it's almost like, getting yourself in new relationships, re-engaging with new people, possibly an earth sign, Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn, if this is new, and feeling as if at any minute the relationship is going to go awry. So it's like thinking about worst case scenarios when things have barely even started with a new person, okay? So, Sagittarius, I'm very sorry. I don't like to relay bad messages, but I feel like there's a lot of relationship hang-ups, and I feel a lot of it deals with self-esteem issues. And I feel that you were in a relationship that was not good for you. It really affected your self-esteem, and you're trying to move away from that, which I feel you're going to be successful, okay? And new relationship partners coming through that might not be, your usual type, but you're taking a chance, you're giving it a try. And that's what I really like to see for you guys, okay?